you are. I'm surprised you haven't grown tired of this view yet. Do you like it that much? You know, no matter who you talk to, you never change. The others all treat me with deference, given that I'll be the next chief of the village. And I am responsible for repaying that respect by guiding and protecting them. I'm ready. And yet, the weight that I must bear can be suffocating at times. I know the world is vast, and that I am not the only one with such responsibilities. But you're from the outside. You must know how isolated this place is. I heard there was another rebellion down south. Only one fate awaits those who oppose the Han. The leaders of these rebellions must be aware of this. How could they not be? But there is a reason they are so determined to act. Soon it will be our turn to play our roles. We will be asked to eliminate the leaders of the rebellion. Ziluan, are you ready? It's a role you should know well. The Han Dynasty is collapsing, discontent is rife, enemies within and without plot its demise. It cannot go on, something must give. The time will come when we must risk our lives and fulfill our roles as the guardians of peace. Ziluan, listen. When that time comes, you and Juha will become my wings.
A duty you would give your life to fulfill? To tell the truth, I've never understood that way of thinking. I mean, what good are you to your duty or anyone else if you end up dying? When he lived, my father was lauded as a saint. But now that he's gone, nobody so much as speaks his name. But I suppose we all have our own way of doing things. Who am I to say what the correct way is? Still, I wonder what Bai Luan was trying to achieve. The title, Guardian of Peace, sounds grand, sure. But what exactly do they do? Perhaps if you can untangle your past, you will find the answer.
Let's see if we can catch up.
I'm ready! I'm gonna catch you!
This is a familiar sight. I remember when you first came to the village. The child we've taken in is just like you when you arrived. You were sitting there on your own, looking dazed. Your eyes were empty, as if you weren't even there. So I started chopping river rocks in half with my bare hands, just to get a reaction out of you. These children playing here know nothing of the world beyond the village. I was just like them. But not you. You wound up in our village after losing your parents to war. How could you simply forget all that and join our games? And that wasn't the half of it. You had to learn how to fight and become a guardian of peace. I couldn't begin to fathom what was in your heart, but I decided I was going to look after you anyway. Ziluan, I am proud of what I am. Proud to be a guardian of peace. And if maintaining peace means getting my hands dirty, I am ready to do just that. But when I look at these children, I can't help hoping that they won't grow up like us. Is that arrogant of me? Do you think? I want us to be the end of it. The last guardians of peace. I dream of a day when the realm doesn't need people like us anymore. I don't think it's foolish to want that. And because of you, Ziluan, I think that dream might come true. You've gotten stronger, Ziluan. Strong enough to be out there as a guardian. But can you parry this? Sorry. I guess it was a little too early for that. But you really are getting better. Keep it up, and you'll get there soon enough.
Juha, why don't you take some time to train him in earnest? At this rate, you will only ever trail after Juha. Rote repetition will eventually spoil your natural talent.
Let me clarify what Bailuan is saying. He means that you're gifted, so you shouldn't give up.
You're impertinent. If you know he has talent, why aren't you training him more? He needs a serious teacher.
Well, Bailuan, if anyone is being impertinent, it would be you. Because I am serious. Ziluan was born outside the village, and yet he's able to use the abilities that we are trained for from birth. His eyes have abilities that ours do not. And that's why I'm preparing by having him face a powerful opponent. Me. After all, practice is the key to success. Ziluan, if you can master the abilities your eyes possess, you'll be able to not only match me, but defeat me. Exciting, right?
You sound as if you're hoping to be defeated. That is not exactly something I wish to hear from my bodyguard. I expect diligent efforts from you, Juha. All for the sake of peace in this realm.
Look at you, acting more and more like a village chief. We won't let you down, Bailuan. Right, Ziluan?
As long as you understand. Juha, Ziluan, keep training. When I take my position as chief, you are the ones I will rely on.
Ziluan? You suddenly went still. Is something wrong? Judging by your state, I'd say you've had some sort of vision. I suppose we now know that this village is of some special significance to your past. And on top of that, the air here is filled with the scent of a very distinct herb. Could this be what Zhang Jiao used? Do you think that perhaps all of these things together brought some of your past back to you in the form of a vision? I've heard that smells in particular can trigger memories of past events. Do you remember the incense Zhang Jiao used to induce visions? I think what we are smelling here is the herb he used to make it. It's possible that you may have used this very same herb at some point in your past. Perhaps we could make some incense that has the exact same scent as what the Guardians of Peace used. Or we could... that's enough for today. We could come back from time to time to see if we can discover more of your past. Your experiences in battle, the people you meet along the way. These kinds of things may also yield some clues. Luan and He, the names of the legendary sacred birds. They are heralds, said to appear only when a great ruler emerges. Juhua, Bai Luan, and Ziluan. The three of you were given your names in the same place. You were raised together there, and you trained in the art of combat in that same place too. Even after losing all memory of such arts, they remain engraved within your body. You have been trained by a great teacher, Ziluan, one of the best. My father, he taught me the secrets of medicine and healing. My father was a famous doctor, known far and wide. Some even called him a saint, imagine that. But he overworked himself to sustain that reputation. When he fell sick, for all his gifts, he was powerless to save himself. It is said that we stand on the shoulders of those who came before us, but I doubt I will ever climb that high. But now, here you are, Ziluan and Juhua, reunited. Words cannot express how much I envy you.
There you are. I'm surprised you haven't grown tired of this view yet. Do you like it that much? You know, no matter who you talk to, you never change. The others all treat me with deference, given that I'll be the next chief of the village. And I am responsible for repaying that respect by guiding and protecting them. I'm ready, and yet the weight that I must bear can be suffocating at times. I know the world is vast, and that I am not the only one with such responsibilities. But you're from the outside. You must know how isolated this place is. I heard there was another rebellion down south. Only one fate awaits those who oppose the Han. The leaders of these rebellions must be aware of this. How could they not be? But there is a reason they are so determined to act. Soon it will be our turn to play our roles. We will be asked to eliminate the leaders of the rebellion. Ziluan, are you ready? It's a role you should know well. The Han Dynasty is collapsing, discontent is rife, enemies within and without plot its demise. It cannot go on, something must give. The time will come when we must risk our lives and fulfill our roles as the guardians of peace. Ziluan, listen. When that time comes, you and Juha will become my wings.
A duty you would give your life to fulfill? To tell the truth, I've never understood that way of thinking. I mean, what good are you to your duty or anyone else if you end up dying? When he lived, my father was lauded as a saint. But now that he's gone, nobody so much as speaks his name. But I suppose we all have our own way of doing things. Who am I to say what the correct way is? Still, I wonder what Bai Luan was trying to achieve. The title, Guardian of Peace, sounds grand, sure. But what exactly do they do? Perhaps if you can untangle your past, you will find the answer.
see if we can catch up.
I'm ready! I'm gonna catch you!
This is a familiar sight. I remember when you first came to the village. The child we've taken in is just like you when you arrived. You were sitting there on your own, looking dazed. Your eyes were empty, as if you weren't even there. So I started chopping river rocks in half with my bare hands, just to get a reaction out of you. These children playing here know nothing of the world beyond the village. I was just like them. But not you. You wound up in our village after losing your parents to war. How could you simply forget all that and join our games? And that wasn't the half of it. You had to learn how to fight and become a guardian of peace. I couldn't begin to fathom what was in your heart, but I decided I was going to look after you anyway. Ziluan, I am proud of what I am. Proud to be a guardian of peace. And if maintaining peace means getting my hands dirty, I am ready to do just that. But when I look at these children, I can't help hoping that they won't grow up like us. Is that arrogant of me, do you think? I want us to be the end of it. The last guardians of peace. I dream of a day when the realm doesn't need people like us anymore. I don't think it's foolish to want that. And because of you, Ziluan, I think that dream might come true.
Get out of the way, Ziluan. Listen to us. It has to be done for the sake of the village.
What is this? What's going on?
Bailuan. And you're here too, Chuhe.
Does the village chief know what you're trying to do?
He does. The child they brought here is related to those rebels, the ones being hunted down by the Han. If the Han find out we're harboring the blood of traitors, we'll be considered traitors too. But Ziluan...
Ziluan. Please, just hear him out. That child...
No, stay as you are, Ziluan. Have you all forgotten our duty? We are bound to bring peace to the realm, to protect it. We are not here to serve the Han, least of all when it would require handing over an innocent child to be put to the sword.
We know that. But if we don't give them this child, every man and woman in this village will suffer the same fate.
So instead of doing what's right, you'd rather live in a world where the Han can kill anyone who disobeys them? Listen to me, all of you. There was once a hermit who helped Emperor Gaozu found the Han Dynasty. That hermit was our forefather, the original guardian of peace. His goal was to find those who possessed the right qualities and teach them how to preserve peace in the realm. It was never to submit to the whims of a dying kingdom, to slaughter the weak and those deemed enemies by virtue of their birth. The Han is in its death throes. It cannot be saved, not by us nor anyone. Now is the time to stand up against it, to fulfill our true duty as guardians of peace. We must find the hero of this age and bring peace back to this land. Come, let us talk to the chief. Together, we can decide what should be done.
Storm clouds are gathering, and the sky is growing dark. I always knew it wouldn't end with the village's destruction. Ziluan, this is your last chance to turn back. This may sound strange coming from the one who set you on this path, but what awaits you is likely a past better left forgotten. I won't force you to do anything that you don't want to, least of all for my benefit. So your resolve remains unshaken. You are truly a strong man, Ziluan. Truth be told, sometimes I wonder if I've done the right thing. Perhaps it would have been better if your past had stayed forgotten. And yet, I couldn't help but try to achieve something my father never could. I thought that perhaps that I could finally claim to have surpassed my father, the man they called a saint. In the end, this has all been for my own selfish ends. Forgive me. Maybe it would have been better if you had never met me. Still, it's you who wants to confront your past. I set you on that course, and I cannot turn away from you now. This is my responsibility, and I will not abandon it.
Ziluan, you did well to stand up against them. It took some convincing, but the chief finally agreed that our decision was the correct one. We saved the child's life, but now comes the hard part. We must fool the Han and convince them the child does not exist. If he were to be found here, the village would be in great danger. And of course you know that not everyone was happy with what you did. But listen, Ziluan. This was not a mistake. I have been preparing for this moment. It simply arrived sooner than I had expected. It is time to begin our mission. We must find the hero of the age, a man to whom we can pledge our support. Juha, Ziluan, will you lend me your strength and become my wings?
You didn't need to call us here for that. I've already decided. The three of us are going to make our dream of peace come true.
I believe it. With the strongest warriors in the village at my side, I know we can succeed. But promise me, both of you, once you have found the hero of the age, you must tell me. Then together, we will give him our support and build a new world of peace.
Ziluan. Thank you. I was frozen, unsure what to do. It seems I was more constrained by the village and its regulations than I had thought. This is the true face of the village's strongest warrior, who has reaped the ambitions of so many. How weak I am compared to you. Surprised? You didn't expect me to admit to any weaknesses, I bet. But I feel like I can tell you now, because I know I can trust you. Your ancestors lived outside both the rules of the village and the reign of the Han. I've been told they were a proud people. The truth is, there was never any reason to tie yourself to the village. You always had the means to leave. You have the freedom to fly far, far away from this place, wherever your destiny might lead you. I want to go on that journey with you, and Bailuan too. Into a world of peace, where we can all soar free.
Bailuan, we've confirmed that the invaders are government forces. They already have the village completely surrounded.
How? What happened to our scouts? And even if they have somehow discovered the child's existence, how did they mobilize so quickly?
An informant. Perhaps someone who disagreed with the position you took.
You mean a traitor in the village? Someone rebelling against my decision?
You all need to run. I'll buy us some time.
Juha, you can't...
Please, Bailuan. Look after Ziluan. He was never just a stray we took in. He's so much more precious than that. Now listen. I am the strongest fighter in this village, and you two will only get in my way. Do not try to follow me. You have to live, Ziluan. Live, and create the world we dreamed of.
Chua! Wait! Foolish girl! Ziluan, after her! I cannot fly with only one of my wings. We have to save her!
Chuha entrusted you with her dream. She knew she would never be able to realize that dream. Yet she believed you would make it come to pass. Perhaps my father believed something similar. But Chuha survived, and she appeared before you. Does that mean... No. It couldn't. Things are drawing to a close, Ziluan. And I will be at your side until the end.
Ziluan, it's been too long. So it really was you. I never would have expected this. But why didn't you tell me where you were? What are you saying, Ziluan? Don't tell me you've forgotten who I am. You won't answer? Or maybe you can't. Then it's true. You really have forgotten everything. Well, I suppose I should have known. If you had your memories, you wouldn't have allied yourself with Cao Cao, the usurper of the Han. You have forgotten your mission, your ideals, and the promises you made, and now you're floating aimlessly through life. Yet even so, you are unable to escape your fate as a guardian of peace. You submit to a higher power and act as a weapon for them, just as you did as a guardian of peace once before. Though this seems even more pitiful, Juha, what did she say to you in the end? Did she tell you to forget everything and live on, or to pursue true peace? If you can't remember, then let me remind you. Juha is dead. You were there when it happened. And now you're living a carefree life, free from any memory of her death. Perhaps that is the greatest insult of all. Remember, Ziluan!
Are you crying? Go, Ziluan. Down your own path. Are you crying? I'm fine. Go, Ziluan. Down your own path.
I thought you had both died. I never imagined. I thought I was alone. Maybe I was being foolish, desperately clinging to a past that will never return. I have some advice for you, Ziluan. If you insist on following the Han and allying with Cao Cao, then I will not hesitate to stand against you once more. You must remember who the Han are to us. Well, the point may be moot if Cao Cao is crushed by Yuan Shao in the next battle. I look forward to seeing him struggle.
Juha. I see. I had been wondering who she was and why she chose to help you. It may be that the Juha you saw was a mirage, created by your own sense of guilt. That seems to be the logical conclusion. Ziluan, I believe now is the time for you to face the real Juha. You should figure out what it was that all of you staked your lives to accomplish. You, Juha, Bailuan, and all of the Guardians of Peace. Don't you think you're underestimating me, Ziluan? I think you ought to place a little more faith in me. The key to unlocking your past is most likely the incense used by the Guardians of Peace. Well, while you've been off fighting, I've been busy myself. Very busy, in fact. However, I'm afraid the truth is crueler than you might imagine, Ziluan. I would understand if you wish to avoid learning the truth. That too is a valid choice. But if you do decide you want to unravel your past, it would be my duty as a doctor to offer my full assistance. That said, we had best try out the incense first of all. I will be rather embarrassed if it doesn't help you remember anything.
So you remember, we fought the government forces that came to purge our village and were cut down. And now, you know, I am but a fragment of your memory, a mirage from your past, born of your deep, painful regret over having survived that day. I think this will probably be the last time you'll see me. You do not need me anymore. Because now, you remember it all. The dreams we shared, the path we chose, the hopes that I passed on to you. I made my own choices, my own decisions. I lived my life without regrets. Feeling guilty for our deaths only cheapens our resolve. So please, do not blame yourself anymore. From this point on, do not let your desire to atone for your past shape your future. Instead, be guided by your will to see your choices through. Now, go forth. You do not need to look back at us anymore. And thank you. Ziluan, take care of Bailuan for us.
Good. It seems you were able to remember Chuha. That success is a weight off my mind. You did well. I officially pronounce you cured, which means my work is complete. Yes, there is nothing more to be done. No, I think not. Now that you've rediscovered your past, you've no more need of a doctor. Besides, I was thinking of taking a trip to the place where my father studied medicine. Better late than never, huh? As for you, Ziluan, you will be fine without me. Now that you know who you are, you're free to live your life as you wish. My, how you've changed. Ziluan, you're nothing like you were when we first met. The old you would have never said such a thing. Back then you were a wild warrior, hurling yourself into battle heedless of your wounds. But yes, despite my teasing, our journey has been one of the most rewarding times in my life. I met so many people, all fighting to survive this chaotic era. On second thought, maybe I could linger for a while longer yet. After all, what better place to fulfill my duty? Well, I call it a duty, but it's a humble matter compared to the exploits of someone like yourself. I learned medicine from my father, and he from his father. Along with that knowledge, they passed down the ideal of healing the sick and aiding the wounded. Now that I'm of a certain age, it's my duty to pass that ideal on to someone else. Just as Chuha passed her dreams and ideals on to you. Which is a roundabout way of asking, would you let me travel with you a little while longer? Thank you, Ziluan. I mean, that is to say, I shall continue to be at your service and provide what help I can.